Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be about the time I was thrown out of the closet. Now, I know a while back coming out videos was like a huge thing a couple years ago. Well, I never got a chance to make a coming out video. I was literally thrown out of the closet. And when I say that, what I mean is, and this isn't just a sexuality thing either, I identify as a bisexual and a agnostic atheist. What I mean by agnostic atheist is, I don't confirm or deny the existence of God. I kind of go off of the religious movie of, I don't know. There could be, there might not be. There's 5,000 religions, both living and dead in this world. Who knows if one of them happens to be right? Or they could all be completely wrong. That's not a popular view where I'm from, because I'm from the Bible Belt. That's the kind of view that's going to get you very alienated, and it did. Also, as I said, I identify as a bisexual, though I eventually fell in love with a man and married a man. That does not mean I'm not attracted to females. I am still very much attracted to females. I just chose to marry a man. I also had a few relationships, like serious relationships with females, and I'll probably go into some of those in other videos. Okay, what I mean by I was thrown out of the closet. Being where I'm from, the Bible Belt, especially growing up, I grew up in the 90s, early 2000s, that sort of thing was not accepted. It's a lot more accepted now, but it wasn't when I was thrown out of the closet. And I was literally thrown out of the closet by an older cousin of mine who did not approve of my lifestyle. I had never tried to come out to my family in this way, mostly because when I was in high school, I converted from Christianity. I grew up Southern Baptist. I converted from Southern Baptist to Wiccan, and Wiccan became like a huge thing at my school, and a lot of people were looking into it and trying it out, and I learned about Wiccan from a friend of mine, so I started buying books and learning about it, and it kind of opened my eyes to a lot, because when I was growing up, I didn't even know there were other religions outside of Christianity. I had no clue. The only thing that, I didn't even realize there were kind of other sects of Christianity. The only other religions I knew about other than Southern Baptist is Catholic and Jewish, and that was it. So when I heard of Wiccan, I was like, what? And I started looking into it, and I really liked the fact that Wiccan kind of tells you, look outside of this religion. I really liked that. I really liked that they weren't like, you're going to go to hell if you look outside this religion. Just the way that was kind of taken when I was little, I didn't want to really come out of the closet, I guess. And I had MySpace back then, and the only people that was really on my MySpace in my family were a few of my cousins. The older people in my family weren't really internet people until Facebook came about. But I was very truthful about who I was on my MySpace, and about being agnostic, although some people in my family took it as being complete atheists or me being a devil worshiper, when I didn't even believe the devil existed. Because I don't believe the devil exists. I believe that's just a way to scare people and fearmonger. But I had written about this on my MySpace, and it said, that I was bisexual and that I was agnostic. And actually, my profile picture at the time had a picture of a beautiful woman that said, "I like girls that like girls." Well, I had a cousin that seen this and completely disapproved of it, so she decided to take pictures of my MySpace, print them out, and mail them to my father, and out me to my father. Luckily, my father is like an old hippie guy. He's like a forest, and he got really upset that my cousin had done this to me, and he called me like yelling like that she had done this to me because he couldn't believe she had done this to me. And at first I thought he was mad at me, and I was like, "Are you mad at me?" And he was like, "Hell no." He was like, "Is all this true? Are you a bisexual?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm a bisexual." And he goes, "Well, as far as that's concerned, that's your own business. That's not anybody else's business but yours." And he goes, "What about the Christian thing?" And I was like, "Well, I just don't know, Daddy. I just don't know. You know, there could be, there might not be. I stand on the middle on it. I don't know. But I certainly don't believe in Christianity. It just doesn't click with me. I don't believe it. With all the research of history I've done on that book, I just don't believe it, and that's my own opinion. And I'm not telling anyone else that this has to be their opinion. As a matter of fact, even though I'm an agnostic and my husband is a full-blown atheist, my daughter is a Christian, and she's chosen to be a Christian, and I'm not standing in her way of that. She goes to church with other family members, because I believe that religion is a very personal choice that everyone has to make for themselves. It's a road that you have to walk on your own. And so I don't stand in her way of that whatsoever. I allow her to have as much religious freedom as, you know, I allow her to have religious freedom. That's her right as an American, is to have religious freedom. So I allow that to my children, even though I may not believe that way. It is my children's right to believe in whatever it is that they may be interested in studying, you know? I actually always preach to my children that they should study as many religions as they can, look at the contradictions between them, and decide for themselves. That's kind of what I did. I started with Christianity, went into Wiccan. I've read about Hinduism. I've read about all kinds of religions. I used to find it fascinating in my younger years. But yeah, that's pretty much how I was outed. I was literally outed to my dad with my MySpace page sent through the mail to him. I was so upset. I couldn't believe she did that. I mean, I can't believe she did that. It even went as far as when I was outed, there was a DCS call made about my MySpace page. There was actually someone that thought I should have my children taken from me for being an agnostic atheist and a bisexual. Yeah. DCS actually showed up over this and made me show them my MySpace page, which they couldn't take my children for either one of those things. But the report also said there was pictures of me partying with my children, so they like went through all of my pictures, and they couldn't find nothing because it wasn't true. It was just all they could say to really get them to come out there, which was very, very mean, but it happened. And that's one of the reasons, that would be one of the examples why I'd made the video about false DCS calls, because I've had calls like that over my MySpace page, over me being bisexual, over me being a non-Christian, and that is insane. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I didn't come out of the closet, I was thrown out of the closet, and once it got out to other family members, some of them were very cool about it. At first, a lot of them made me feel very alienated, you know, telling me they were worried I was going to go to hell, stuff like that. Some of them, once Facebook came around and they started seeing me write about that sort of stuff on Facebook, a lot of them unfriended me, made me feel very alienated in that way over my personal beliefs. But, you know, it is what it is how it is, and I can't change anyone else's beliefs no more than they could change my beliefs, because that's the thing about beliefs. You believe it because you've deeply studied it, and, you know, this is what you've come to the conclusion of, this being true. So people don't really take that very lighthearted, and they don't change their minds very easily, and I'm the same way. This is the conclusions I've come to. You know, and I believe that, you know, if there is a God, I don't see him being like us. I don't even see him having a sex, being a he or a she. I think maybe if there is a God, it would be in the form of some sort of energy, honestly, because, like, that's the one thing in the world that combines everything, is electrons. There is electrons in everything that exists. It's a part of matter, you know? And electricity and energy is the one thing that connects everything, and it's life breathing, you know? You have to have the sun, you have to have heat, you have to have energy to live. So I think that if there is a God, it'd be a more energetic form. Maybe, I don't know. That's just what I think. If there is a God, it'd be a more energetic form, and I don't think it would play such a role in our lives to where it's watching everything we do. I mean, I don't see that being God's job. God's job would be to create life, and if there is a God, I just think that's would be God's function, is to create. It would be the energy that created the Big Bang. It would be the energy that created Earth. It would be the energy that runs through everyone. But who knows? I could be wrong. I could be right. That's just what I believe. This is something I've kind of always wanted to talk about on YouTube, but I've been so alienated and had so many people turn against me because of my personal beliefs in my actual life. I've been sort of afraid to be honest about it. I do come from a very Christian background, so I have a lot of things in my language like thank God and stuff like that. I'm so used to saying it that I can't stop saying it. I actually try to remember to say thanks science instead, but I can't change my dialect. I think I'm just too old to change my dialect over to that. Plus, I have no filter, so I speak before I think. I said very, very Christian background. I was saved. I was baptized in 7th grade. I have preachers in my family. But I've read the Bible and I don't believe it. It just feels like a fairy tale to me, and that's my own personal choice though. And I'm not trying to insult anybody by saying it feels like a fairy tale to me. That's just the way it feels. Just like if a Christian were to read the Quran, it would probably feel like a fairy tale to them. Or if a Muslim were to read the Christian Bible, it would feel like a fairy tale to them. And that's just how I feel about it all. Just about. I mean, when they're talking about creatures and people having supernatural powers that no longer exist, it's hard to believe. And that's just my stance on it. And plus all the miracles and stuff that Jesus was supposed to perform. Plus, and not only that, he said he would return in the lifetime of his followers, and he didn't. And people are still waiting for him to return, but he was already supposed to return. And just all the studies that I've done about all the books that's been left out of the Bible, and how, you know, what Rome did with the Bible, and how my personal opinions is I don't believe it, and that's my personal opinion. No one else has to believe like me. I'm not forcing my opinion on anyone else, but I will speak about my opinion because it is my right to speak about what I believe in. I will not be quiet about it. Because it seems like in my personal life, there's a lot of people that would just rather me keep my mouth shut, but I'm not one of those kinds of people. I talk a lot, and these are the things that I think. Sorry. It's not easy either 2 out of 4 of my children, or 2 out of 5 of my children are atheists. And they've had a heck of a time in school because of it. Like, one of them actually came home the other day saying they got in trouble for being an atheist. And I think he just took it as being in trouble. I don't think he actually got in trouble. I think it was more the teacher just didn't want to hear it, was telling me to be quiet. But that's just how it is down here. And I got thrown out of the closet on both topics. I didn't get the choice to come out to my family, and it was kind of really messed up that one person would do that to somebody else. I've never done that to anybody. Yeah. That's what I wanted to talk about today. Have you ever had anything like that happen to you? Has somebody ever done something cruel like that to you before? I know they have to me, and it's really messed up, and it still hurts my feelings to this day. You live in the Bible Belt, and you've been through some similar experiences as I have. I would love to hear about it in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like me, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want to know when my next upload is going to be, hit that little bell button so that YouTube will give you a notification. And I'll see you next video. Peace.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.